welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Einstein. Thank y'all for joining me again today as we go through into today's daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. This will be a exciting last couple days of August. I've been really enjoying and encouraged by the last couple of weeks specifically. And the closing line of yesterday's was really a powerful statement to me. There is no progress apart from the unfoldment within. We're talking about that path of progress and spiritual growth and love, really, at the end of the day. So I'm grateful for. I was grateful for yesterday's reading. Honestly, I thought it was a good time. So this will of course be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading, because this will be my first time hearing it or reading it right here on this podcast with y'all. So here we go. This is August 30th reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. There is no sure foothold in prosperity or peace except by orderly advancement in knowledge. Perhaps the claims of poverty hang up heavily upon you, and you are friendless and alone, and you long with an intense longing that your load may be lightened, but the load continues, and you seem to be enveloped in an ever-increasing darkness. Perhaps you complain, you bewail your lot, you blame your birth, your parents, your employer, or the unjust powers who have bestowed upon you so undeservedly poverty and hardship, and upon another affluence and ease. Cease your complaining and fretting. None of these things which you blame are the cause of your poverty. The cause is within yourself, and where the cause is, there is the remedy. There is no room for a complainer in a universe of law, and worry is soul suicide. Wow. Worry is soul suicide. What a statement that is. I wonder what book this is from. I'm very curious to know where this reading was taken from, because the daily meditations from James Allen is actually just a compilation of excerpts from his other 20 books. I believe it was 20. There's total 21 books. But I mean, he has a bunch of articles out there too. So these are all his writings, and this was actually the meditations were put together prior to his or after his death. I think 2 years they were compiled posthumously by his wife. It was 2 years afterwards, but either way, fantastic line there. This whole thing is great. Actually, it's the bane of many. Honestly, this is a reading that many can relate to, that should relate to. I relate to, actually. I've been here for a lot of my life. I've been in these mindsets, and just it took my sobriety and years into my sobriety to actually start changing that mindset. And if I'm completely honest, I'm not 100% thorough about doing it yet. As much as I'd like to say I do this perfectly and this isn't a problem, I can't. I do the best I can, and I'm constantly looking and evaluating and growing in this area. So this is part of my journey. So let's go through this line by line. There is no sure foothold in prosperity or peace except by orderly advancement in knowledge, right? Growth and knowledge is the only sure way to progress. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, you will neither be peaceful nor prosperous. If you continue to take the wrong steps, if you continue to make the same mistakes, you're doomed to have the same life. This isn't to Um, this one isn't rocket science, really. Orderly advancement in knowledge. You must continue to grow and to learn for both prosperity and peace. Per- so here we go. This is the main body. Perhaps the claims of poverty hang heavily upon you, and you are friendless and alone. It's a sad thing to say. And you long with an intense longing that your load may be lightened. Loneliness, that's a big one, right? Friendless and alone. Poverty hang heavily upon you. And you just have this desire for your stressors to go away. That's where I was. I was just trying to live well and I couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't figure out how other people could enjoy their lives without substances, alcohol, drugs, whatever, gambling, relationships. There was always loneliness at the end of it for me. There was always a disconnection from the real world and people. I always just wanted to just catch that break, catch that one day of luck, which everything changed. But it never came. Well, actually, it did come. It just didn't look like how I thought it was going to look. It was sobriety. The world didn't change for me. I changed my perspective of the world. And he goes on to say, but your load continues. So, longing that your load might be lightened, semicolon. But the load continues, and you seem to be enveloped in an ever increasing darkness. That's where I was. This is a perfect description of the misery and pain that I was in on a daily basis, trapped inside my own head with my own thoughts and perspectives, because that was the problem at the end of the day. That was the problem. And it kept getting worse, ever increasing darkness. I relate to that. The pain just kept getting greater. The weight of the world kept getting heavier. The darkness kept getting darker. Here we go. Perhaps you complain, you bewail your lot, right? Like you start pointing fingers, right? This is what we do. We blame things, and we excuse our circumstances as us doing the best we can. If you were who I was, or born where I was born, or have the color skin that I have, or have this, or have this nationality, or this background, right? We like to complain and blame and excuse ourselves from the responsibility of taking action. But that's all they are, is excuses. So let's finish this, or let's go on here. Perhaps you complain, you bewail your lot, you blame your birth, so your family, where you were born, the social class you were born into. You blame your parents, who they were in their background, right? Sins of the father. Like, look, this is where I could only achieve this because of what this, that, the other. Your employer might. Oh, this was my favorite one. Can't they just leave me alone? Why can't they pay me more money? Don't they know that the job I do is worth more? Which, to some extent, there might have been some truth in that, but it wouldn't. I was in a position where it didn't matter how much anyone paid me; it wouldn't have been enough. Never was enough. Your birth, your parents, your employer, or the unjust powers who have bestowed upon you so undeservedly poverty and hardship, and upon another affluence and ease. So the world just isn't fair. The government favors certain people. This type of person has it easier than this type of person, and we get screwed and they get blessed. It's the common argument of many, many people sitting on bar stools today. Many, many people. I like that. How he says it. You so undeservedly poverty and hardship. Bestowed upon you so undeservedly poverty and hardship, and then upon another affluence and ease. So um, easily do we discount someone else's journey. Then he goes, cease your complaining and fretting. Just a pretty direct message there. Cease your complaining and fretting. None of these things which you blame are the cause of your poverty. Just so you know, for all those out there pointing fingers, it's not the problem. The cause is within yourself. And where the cause is, there is the remedy. Now, there's the hope. There's the encouragement for this circumstance and situation. We get to take responsibility. So what is wrong is our perspective and our understanding, but that is within our ability to change. That is within our ability to change. Where the cause is, there's the remedy. Thank God for that. Now, this last line that I loved, there is no room for a complainer in a universe of law, right? Because the complainer is not actually taking any actions. They're not doing anything. It's governed by a certain set of rules. You do this, and eventually you will get this, right? To just suffer your own lot that you've left yourself sitting and wallowing in. It's no one else's fault but your own. Accept responsibility, and you can change that. And then the last line, and worry is soul suicide. And it is. It's just, what a great term for it. Soul suicide. Because it just kills you from the inside out. And eventually, it rots your body too, right? We get these problems caused by anxieties. Our muscles are just constantly tense, and that makes extra wear and tear on our bones. We grind our teeth. We get migraine headaches. We have to take medicine just to treat the secondary symptoms of what our anxiety causes. We can't interact with people. We can't leave anywhere. We're scared of the entire world. You die spiritually from worry much quicker before your body does. It's immobilizing, paralyzing fear. It just puts a death grip on your soul. And if you just practiced a little bit of faith, you changed your thinking just a little bit, your whole world could change. It's just so possible. It's so within reach. So many discount it because of the discouragement that they faced at their own failings. If you would just trust that power greater than yourself, that God of your understanding, that source, that creator, that energy, that universe, that karma, that whatever it might be, that you're placing your beliefs in. If you just did that, saw how it worked, you might be surprised. So, all right. Well, thank you all for joining me again for August 30th reading. Stunning reading again. Loved it. Reminds me to keep my mouth shut and take the right actions instead of complaining about the situation. Accept it. Take action. So, all right. Well, we'll finish out August tomorrow, and we'll see what we end with. Until next time. Thanks.